Hello again. Well, this time you join me in my holiday cottage in the lovely village of Cretingham in East Suffolk. Now, it really is a beautiful cottage. It dates from the 1500s. It's timber framed. Let me just show you. You can see beautiful oak beams, lovely garden with the fields beyond. Now, I just love visiting new places, and it's an added bonus if there happens to be an interesting story connected to the area. Well, in 1887 a particularly brutal murder occurred here at the old vicarage, which is just up the road from here. Now, the murderer was caught and convicted. However, even today there is some doubt of his guilt. Now, it's a lovely afternoon. I'm eager to see the place where the murder happened, so let's go for a walk and I'll tell you more about it. Now, it really is a lovely day and it makes such a pleasant change. I'm filming this in early July, and for the past several months it's done nothing but rain here in the UK. So let's hope today marks a turning point in the weather. So, on with the story. In 1996, a workman who was renovating an old hunting lodge came across an interesting message written on one of the old floorboards. It said, and I quote, "A fearful murder was committed on the first day of October 1887 at Cretingham. A curate cut the vicar's throat at 12 o'clock at night. He stands committed." Well, local historian Sheila Harding was intrigued by the find, and she decided to investigate this long forgotten murder, and the tale she uncovered was like something straight out of an Agatha Christie novel, and it inspired her to write a book about the murder. Now, the story goes that the Reverend William Farley married Harriet Mole in, I think, the year 1881. He'd been widowed twice, and the marriage took place just a few months after the death of his second wife, which must have raised a few eyebrows in the village. Also, Harriet was about 40 years old and described as being lively and extroverted, whereas the Reverend Farley was in his 70s, somewhat irascible and in ill health. So, not exactly a match made in heaven. In September 1886, a new curate went to live with the couple at the vicarage. Arthur Gilbert Cooper was 33 years old and described as good looking, and it soon became rumoured that the relationship between the curate and the vicar's wife had grown improper. There's the signpost to Cretingham village. I've been told that the vicarage is just around the corner from here. Now, it's never been established that the couple were having an affair. But what is certain is that on Sunday, the 2nd of October 1887, the Reverend Farley was found dead on the floor of his bedroom with his throat cut in this house opposite. Well, I'm really disappointed. I can't see the house. I can't film it from the road. There's a long drive to the vicarage. It's a private house. So at this point I'm going to have to insert some photographs. Now, to cut a long story short, the curate was arrested for the murder, and it was later revealed that he had a history of mental illness and he had threatened someone with a knife in the past. However, Cooper not only claimed that he was innocent of the murder, but he refused to believe that the Reverend Farley was dead. No motive for the murder could be ascertained, but Harriet Farley said that she had heard Cooper and her husband arguing about money sometime before the murder, and she strenuously denied any romantic involvement with Cooper. Now, not far from here is St Peter's Church, where the unfortunate Reverend Farley is buried. Now let's see if we can find the church and find the grave. There remains some doubt that the curate murdered the vicar. Despite committing such a gruesome murder, there was no trace of blood on his clothing. The possibilities of suicide isn't ruled out, or that seeing no future for herself, that's interesting, beyond caring for a bedridden, cantankerous husband, Harriet herself committed the murder. There are many twists and turns in this story, far too many to go into in this short video. So if you want to know more, then read The Cretingham Murder by Sheila Hardy. This is St Peter's Church. It dates to the 1300s, and the Reverend Farley is buried somewhere in this churchyard, and there is a memorial tablet to him in the church. So let's hope the church is open. Apparently the Reverend weighed 20 stone at the time of his death, and it took 9 men to carry his coffin along this path and into the church. Yes, the church appears to be open. In case you can't read it, it says in memoriam, W.M. Farley, vicar of this parish 24 years, entered into rest October 2nd, 1887, aged 73. A Greek scholar, one who always wished to live at peace with his neighbours, this tablet was placed here in loving affection by his third wife, Louisa Farley. So let's go and find the Reverend's grave. Now, I've had a look around and I found the grave. It really wasn't that hard to find. It's in that lonely corner right behind me. Reverend William Farley. It's not very legible. Rector of this parish, died October 2nd, 1887. He is buried next to his second wife, Susanna. She died in the spring of 1881, and he married his third wife later that year. As for the vicarage, well, many stories grew up around it after the murder. It was said that the bloodstains remained on the floor of the murder room, resisting all attempts to remove them. doors would open and close on their own in the dead of night, and the ghostly figure of the curate has been seen wandering the grounds of the vicarage. And also, during the great hurricane that wreaked havoc across England in October 1987, one of the trees in Cretingham churchyard came crashing to the ground, and it smashed off part of the Reverend Farley's headstone. It happened on the 100th anniversary of the murder. Okay, that was my look at the Cretingham murder. Just a short video to keep me amused while I'm on holiday. There's so much more to the case. If you're interested, then read the book. I'm heading back to my holiday cottage now, here for a few more days. Hopefully, if the weather stays nice, I can make at least one more video. Well, thank you for joining me on another grisly little expedition. And as usual, if you made it this far, then thank you very much. And time and weather permitting, I shall see you very soon.